searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair, but those eyes so bright.
And we're off. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Scheananigans. Today, I'm Kikiing with my girl Kiki. How we doing?
I'm good.
We're down a co-host. Janet was supposed to be here, and I understand more than anyone what it's like when you don't have a babysitter. Her husband had to work. You know, he's got a real job. He's lawyering, was stuck in court. I don't know what that part of it's like, but
I thought she might be like hungover or something because I saw she was at a premiere for the bike riders.
You know what? Maybe that was a little sidebar of it. She's like, no, Jason's stuck in court. Wink, wink. Scheana doesn't have his location. He's got an Android. So, no, missing Janet today, but we will get back into some shenanigans with her when she gets back. She's going to take some time before they start season 2 of The Valley, go back to Ohio, spend some time with the fam, and have a little time off.
So wait, they have a date? They're starting to film?
I don't know if they have an exact start date, but they have a time when they need to be back in LA by.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, usually, I mean, for us, it's kind of been that way where it's like around 4th of July. You either start like right before or right after. You always have the 4th of July off because it's a legal holiday.
Do you think it's going to be, because like your last season of Vanderpump, like filming when you were with the public, you could see everyone in the background. Like it was distracting for me.
Yeah.
The Valley was so popular. Do you think they're going to have that issue filming second season?
I do. I think it's going to be a lot different for season 2 for them, season 12 for us. I was thinking about this the other day and I'm like, I feel like, because I have been a little bit in the comment section, but I've read like comments on the podcast because I love reading the YouTube comments. YouTube, it used to be like a 95% positive space. Now that I post the podcast, that's changed, which is to be expected. But I'm thankful for everyone who watches these videos. Excuse my air dried hair right now. But so I've been reading different perspectives and I see people saying, you know, I'm backpedaling because it's like, God forbid I say one thing in support of Ariana and they're like, you're backpedaling, you're this. I'm like, no. I've gotten perspective. I've seen the season. Time has passed. I've had conversations with Ariana, conversations with Lala, conversations with production. Like things just do change. But also one thing I noticed, people were saying, you know, we don't like that the 4th wall is being broken because we liked being able to just watch, you know, a group of people who aren't on the show because they're on the show and talking to each other because it's their job. And I was like, interesting, because I thought like, this is going to be so great. Season 12, the 4th wall is down, but I'm like, or do we build it back up?
I don't know. I think there's a level of like, because I want to operate in real time and that's impossible in reality TV world. You're watching it 6 months later. So sometimes I don't mind the 4th wall being broken because, you know, they do have to come back, re-edit some stuff. And it's like, it makes it a little more realistic than just like watching something that happened 6 months ago that's like not the reality. I think certain 4th walls kind of make it weird. And you're like, I don't want to know that level of detail or I don't want to know this or that, especially when it gets into like, you know, like marriages and people like actual marriages and their children and like people are kind of like, and they have to sort of address those things because it could just be so false, but I feel like then they have to address it, but it's like, this isn't a real thing.
I know. So it'll be really interesting to see where season 2 goes for them.
Yeah.
But I'm here for it. I can't wait. But how was your weekend? Did you get into any fun shenanigans?
My short-term memory has gotten so bad and I'm like worried about it because I'm like, I don't know if it's just because I'm consuming so much. I'm like, I don't remember what I did this weekend. I think I had fun. I honestly don't remember what I did.
Yeah. Well, sometimes, you know, that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you only need your long-term memory. Sometimes it's good when the short-term memory is gone.
I have my screenshots. I have like 100,000 screenshots. If I really want to know, I'll just go through.
There you go. And that's the thing. It's like there's, you know, always 3 sides of the story. There's like yours, mine, and then the screenshots.
Yes, exactly.
Well, I don't know how I seem to remember my whole weekend because we did 25 hours in Vegas. James has his residency at Live, so he does the nightclub and the beach. I think he does one in each per month.
Oh, wow.
And Brock has been dying to get out there. He loves a pool party. He had all his Aussies come out. Like, literally everyone showed up for him. Full send at the pool party to the point where I was like, maybe don't go back in the crowd. He was like on one, but like a good one. And
so he's DJing like what, like every Friday, Saturday, Sunday? Like when, like.
So he does I think 2 shows a month, one at the nightclub, one at the day club, because then he's all over the country and everywhere else as well. But I just have to say, and I said this to him, and I think I even commented it somewhere online, but James gives 110% every show. I told Allie, I go, honestly, I think because I've known James so long, I may have gone to more James Kennedy shows than she's been to now, or maybe we're neck and neck. But I'm like, from watching him at Sir, Tom on the toilet paper.
Yeah.
But like, no matter what, even when he's still at Sir, he gives it his all. And like watching him at Live Beach, it was just so fun to see because I always believed in him and I always knew he was gonna be able to be a really big, successful DJ if he, toned down the partying.
Yeah.
And now that he is his, California sober version of himself, I think he's just the best version of himself. He's so talented. He puts on such a good show. And he's just gotten so much better. Like, it's insane.
Do you think he rivals like DJ Paulie D? Do you think Paulie D is a little threatened? Because like Paulie is like really big in Vegas, right?
Well, they actually have the same manager.
Oh, really?
So,
okay.
Yeah. So it's either a rivalry or it's a team thing.
So are they have the same manager, so are they friends?
Yeah.
Okay, they're friends. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, maybe it's a little silent rivalry. I don't know. But I mean, Paulie D, he was the OG reality TV DJ of Vegas. And I don't think his star is ever going to not shine as bright as it is. So I feel like he's good there. But yeah, it was so awesome to see. I've been wanting to get out to Live. My sister's been a few times and it was just like, I'm looking back at the photos and I'm like, how do you just like get up on there and then jump off? They get the best action shots of his, but it was crazy.
That's awesome.
So much fun. And then we went to the Critics' Choice Awards.
Oh, yeah.
Straight from the plane. I go into glam. We land. Our flight was a little delayed. We get home. I have 8 minutes to shower, figure out what gown I'm wearing because I did not plan that before. And then I have glam walking in the door. I was like, backup reunion dress. I'm just going to wear that. One of my gels on my toe chipped off.
Oh, no.
And every dress I was planning to wear needed an open toe shoe.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I need a dress long enough that will cover the toes because I had no time to get them fixed. So straight to the Critics' Choice Awards, Brock and I presented. It was so much fun. Our category didn't win, but Ariana did win.
Okay, yes.
She had like a nice package of just her at the Love Island set.
Oh, nice.
Thanking the critics
Who was
and everyone.
She up against?
So it was Phaedra, I think Selena Gomez.
Oh, wow.
Retta. Who else?
Reba
McEntire.
Oh, wow.
I think that might have been it.
That's a loaded category.
It was a loaded category.
Selena Gomez, doesn't she? At least she did. She has the most followers on Instagram. Like she had more than Kardashians.
Yeah.
So to like beat Selena's a big deal.
Yeah, and I mean Phaedra, obviously she's been iconic for so many years, but I felt like Traders just put her on even more people's radars.
Yeah.
And Traders won our category. They won so many things, but that show is amazing.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited to see next season.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Ariana won. They had packages for the people who weren't there to thank, whoever they wanted. She looked amazing. And yeah, it was a really fun night. Went out to Soho House after, and then Father's Day. It was just like a very busy but fun weekend.
That's fun. I love that.
Yeah. I told Brock, I was like, you get everything in one weekend.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
it's like,
and now leave me alone.
now we're done. Now I'm back to work.
Yeah.
We're done. But I thought for today, it would be fun to just like maybe not completely talk about Vanderpump Rules in the Valley. We already did that a little bit, but let's get into some hot topics because there's a lot going on in the world right now. But before we take a break, let's do a little bit of Bravo before we get into the other ones because I just caught up on Real Housewives of New Jersey last night and I love Dolores. I mean, she is all time like my favorite housewife ever. So on this week's episode, she had a discussion with her mom and daughter about how Paulie wants to start a business together in New Jersey, some sort of electrical business or whatever. And she relays that Paulie feels like going into business together shows his level of commitment to the relationship since he's showing no signs of legally divorcing his wife. They've been separated for 12, 13 years, something. Yeah. So how do we feel about this? And does it seem like this is kind of the new ring on a string?
I mean, it just goes to show that, like, if you really like someone, you're willing to make excuses because, with her ex, she was like, I'm not moving in with you until I have, an engagement ring. We're not doing any of those things. David, her ex.
Mm-hmm.
Now with Paulie, she has moved in. She is like, willing to start a business and all of these and let him stay. Not let him stay, but he's still not separated, even though he promised it like a year ago and all of these excuses. And it's kind of like, I understand where everyone's coming from of just like, girl, move on. But at this point, she just likes him. So just let her do her thing. She knows that this doesn't feel right. And so everyone just piling on, it's not going to make her leave him.
No.
I mean, when have you ever left someone because someone thought it was a bad idea? Never.
Clearly never. Did you see season 6?
And I'm like, at the end of the day, Dolores, first of all, can we all say her daughter, Gabby, is like the best daughter ever? Like, she's the veterinarian. Like, I want to take my cats to Jersey just so she could be my veterinarian. Like, she has like the best kids. She has a great relationship with her ex, great relationship with her mom. I love how they have this like, mother, daughter, granddaughter. And they're just like, everyone needs to know that we're number one. And, of course, when your brother gets married, his wife will, I just love that. So the fact that Paulie, look, he's allergic to Italian food. He hates the Jersey Shore. Everything about him makes him not compatible with Dolores. But I just want Dolores to be happy. She looks at him. She's so happy. So it's just like, let it be.
And I see that in person when I've seen them too. She just lights up in a different way. Whenever she talk about David, it was always so positive and she loved him. And I know she wanted that to work. But then it's like, then you get Paulie.
Yeah.
And it's just that light, like the same way I see Ariana with Dan.
Yeah.
When I first saw them together, I was like, there's just a different spark and a different light. And I see that with them. So, you know what? Go into the electrical business and get married after, it's like.
I mean, he obviously does really well because I think that's why the divorce is taking so long, because I think that he must have assets that are very large. And so, I mean, we've seen his apartment or his condo. I mean, like, so look, he's doing well off. He's a contractor. If he wants to start an electrical business with me, I'm all for it. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, it's something. And I just feel like, I mean, I do know, yes, divorce can take a while. This is unheard of a while. But he probably didn't have a reason to really hardcore start the actual legal process before he met Dolores. It was just like, it's easy. We keep things the way they are. And
once he divorces, he's going to have a piece of paper that then he has to pay a certain alimony. He probably has been providing alimony or whatever it is. But it's like, once it's on a document, it's like he has to stick with it. And it's like, so why rush it if you don't have to?
Yeah.
Maybe she would have gotten married and then I won't owe anything. Like maybe he thought that she would get married or something, who knows?
Well, yeah. And then it's like, I mean, I even wondered that when you marry after going through a divorce, and then you get remarried, like, do you take on that person's debt? Do you take on their financial responsibilities with previous marriages, with children, with alimony, like all of those things?
Well, I've been watching 90 Day Fiance, and one of the couples, Manuel and I can't remember her name right now, but they go to like get a post-nup. And that was when he found out that she had like $100,000 in student loan debt. Now, as Americans, we're like, oh, okay. Yeah. Who cares? Like, but he's like, what? You have $100,000 in debt? Like, how could you do this to me? But you don't take on their student loan debt. That's one debt that you don't inherit. So that's kind of good to know. And so I think there's certain debts you do take on. There's certain that you don't. But yeah.
No, I learned that because I don't know why when I met Brock, I just assumed he was 29, I think, when I met him, maybe turning 30. But I just assumed he had a lot of debt. And he was like,
wait, why did you assume that?
I don't know. Because of my previous
you look debt ridden
couple years of dating, I don't know, the single Scheana years in my 30s kind of just traumatized me. So I just assumed, I don't know, the guy has a lot of debt. And he was like, I don't have any debt. And I was like, oh, okay, well then, we can get married because I was like, do I take that on? And then, obviously he is caught up with the child support. He pays all of that. But I had questions because I'm like, I don't know how this works when you have things in another country and then you get married in California. And
it's true.
I'm just not trying to take on anyone's debt.
Yeah.
And I learned lessons from my first marriage. Like, we have our joint account, then we keep our shit separate. We have a joint business manager. He makes sure all the shit's in order. But I'm like, you don't have access to this. I don't have access to that. And I'm perfectly fine keeping it that way.
Yeah.
I just think it's smarter.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're going to take a quick little break and then so many hot topics to get into. I don't know where to start. Be right back. After a stressful day running around, taking care of errands and family and work, we've got summer, we've got the husband, we've got busy days. I feel like I need some quality self-care, and nothing's better than a nice long shower with a Cremo body wash that smells as good as it cleanses. It's on a busy day for me. It's before a date night for me. I mean, regardless, I always want to feel fresh, look good, smell good, and Cremo is my go-to because no one does luxurious shower experiences like Cremo. Cremo body washes combine rich lathering and hydrating formulas with elegant fragrances that will elevate your hygiene routine. So Cremo has 3 new women's body wash scents that make a regular shower feel like a spa day. And who doesn't love a spa day at home? They have white jasmine amber, wild iris musk, and my favorite is the almond bloom, which refreshes the skin with a cozy combination of creamy almond and pink pepper. Cremo also offers a wide range of grooming products for women, including shaving creams, razors, and hydration mists, all in a variety of unforgettably dreamy fragrances. You can find all the new decadent scents of Cremo women's body wash at Walgreens and CVS or cremocompany.com. Once again, that's Walgreens, CVS, or cremocompany.com. One last time, you can find Cremo at Walgreens, CVS, or cremocompany.com. And now say hello to your IRL makeup filter in a bottle. Yes, I'm coming to you again to talk to you about the new Covergirl Simply Ageless Skin Perfector Essence, because it's literally all I have been wearing on my skin for so many months now. The great thing about this and what's really cool is it's a skincare makeup hybrid. So it makes your skin look plump, refreshed, and the best part is it makes you look more youthful. As someone who is constantly in the desert, back and forth between Palm Springs, goes to Vegas, my skin tends to dry out a lot. And that's what I love about this is it leaves my skin hydrated for up to 24 hours. And they do that using microdroplet technology. So it's this refreshing formula that provides an instant burst of hydration, and it legit lasts for up to 24 hours. How it works is the pigmented capsules burst and blend and give you a sheer even tint while reducing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. Something that, when you're me pushing 40, you need. And it's something you won't find in any other drugstore brand. It's like you could compare this to a $70 brand. Glowing and radiant looking skin is only a pump away. The adaptable shades can be worn alone or as a primer under your favorite foundation. And that's what I usually do if I'm wearing it for a night out. I add a little foundation and boom, full coverage. After 2 weeks of use, it improves your complexion's radiance, skin texture, suppleness, and firmness. Only from Easy Breezy Beautiful Covergirl. Okay, I do have another Bravo topic because I feel like we have to talk about the Alexis Bellino sex life and love bombing. So she was recently on 2 Teas in a Pod where she revealed that she might need to look into vaginal rejuvenation due to the frequency of her sex life with John Jansen. Ew. She claimed that they go at it 4 times a day. And I guess that's rivaling Larsa Pippen, who had famously revealed that she and Scotty did this 4 times a day as well. Who has time for that? It's beyond me. I mean, unless I was like on vacation with Brock and Bali, I don't think I've ever hit 4 times a day. So good for you if it's true. Also, ouch. But, as someone who does overshare herself from time to time, like, do you think this was info that we wanted to hear about? And how do we think Shannon felt hearing this?
Well, I think it was for Shannon, right? Like, I think that when you say those things, it's specifically because you're like, you are trying to like make some press for the show, which is a smart move anyways. But then also it's kind of like, I got your man. Like, because who knows? We don't know what went down.
We don't.
I will say I watched the first episode of OC and I think a lot is going to go down this season. And so I don't think there ever was love between Alexis and Shannon, really.
Right.
But I anytime someone says they're having sex that much, I instantaneously, I'm like, I don't believe it.
No.
I don't know what adult can have time to have sex like that every
No.
day. Like, don't you have things to do?
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Unless you're literally like on vacation and you just didn't have any plans that day. Like, I don't know.
I'm trying to think, like, I don't even know if maybe I've had sex with myself 4 times a day. Like, I don't even know.
Okay, that makes sense, you know?
And I felt like a degenerate after it, just by the way.
But you probably felt better too.
Yeah, it was a nice, relaxing day.
Okay, so Larsa said that also, I think she said 4 times a day wasn't enough to keep 2 people together. So what do we think is a healthy frequency of intimacy for a relationship? Because I feel like everyone's definition is different.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're having sex twice a week, you are doing a really good job personally.
I totally agree. Shoot, twice a month after you have kids, that's a fucking accomplishment, okay?
I mean, there's so much to do in the world. It's like you get through your day and you're like, oh, wow, I already have to go to bed again. Like, I have things to do. I don't know.
No, Brock and I have to go out of town because now that Summer is in her big girl bed, at any moment at night, she could just wake up, walk in the room. This morning, I always normally hear her. I still sleep with her monitor on my phone, like on my side table. So I can hear when I know she's going to come down the hallway. But this morning, all of a sudden, she was just at my bed.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Like, oh, my God. I'm like, how did I not? She just must have silently woken up and been like, all right, I'm just going to go in mom's bed.
Yeah.
So I'm like, we literally haven't even christened the new house yet.
Really?
Because it's like, she's always there.
How long have you been there?
I mean, we've had sex since we moved in, just not in the house.
But I'm saying, how long have you lived in this house?
3.5 months.
Oh my God, you got to have sex in the house, Scheana.
I know. So the plan was while she was with my mom this weekend, for Brock's birthday, 'cause she wasn't in the house. But then we just had a lot of fun in Vegas. And I was like, I'm pretty good. And like I said, we only had 8 minutes in between the car and glam. And then we were like, okay, we're going to do it again. We're going to christen the house when we get home tonight. We ended up going to Soho House. We were out till 1 a.m. Like, we had such a fun night. When we got home, we're like, we're tired. And every time she's not in the house with us, which has maybe only been a handful of times since we moved in that she stays at my parents' house because we have a late event or whatever, we're too tired.
Yeah, you want to go out. Exactly.
Yeah.
No, it makes total sense.
But every time we go out of town, like, oh, we're getting it on. So it's like, we're just vacation sex people now, I guess.
It's smart though, because I mean, I did walk on my parents' house, and I remember it.
Oh, traumatizing.
Yeah, like I haven't forgotten it, so it's good. It's probably good. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one of those as well. I was like 4, but it wasn't my parents. It was my uncle who was babysitting me.
Oh God.
I was telling this story recently, and I was like, oh yeah, I walked in on Uncle so-and-so and Aunt so-and-so, and they're like, we don't think he was with her yet.
Oh,
like,
no.
it was like, so, and I was like, oh, gotcha. Well, whatever, whoever it was, I remember seeing that. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, that sticks with you. I don't want Summer to have that.
No.
So no, I'm too paranoid. It's the OCD brain.
Yeah.
I cannot get out of it when the kid is in the house. But okay, so also on this podcast, Alexis had addressed Meghan King's concerns that John Jansen was love bombing her. She essentially said that she felt Meghan was looking for a moment in the spotlight by talking about her relationship. So although we haven't seen much of their relationship dynamic yet, do we think Meghan's concerns for her friend are valid?
Here's the thing. After Meghan, I saw her like traumatizing a baby squirrel and like moving a nest.
What?
I actually can't take anything Meghan
my
says
God.
seriously now. So I'm kind of like, but do I think that anytime you get into a new relationship, I just think that there is automatically an element of love bombing on both sides. I think you can't help it because you're just so into that person. I start doing things that I've never done for people. I'm like, why am I doing this? So I think that's normal. It's when it's still happening like a year later, or it's only happening when like something bad happened. Like those are I think the red flags.
Right.
But they've only been dating, it's been like a year?
Has it even been that long?
I don't even know.
Yeah.
It hasn't been long. So I'm kind of like, and especially during the season, it's very new. So it's kind of like, I expect it, especially because I do think there's an element of both of them kind of wanting to get back at Scheana. I think that John holds some resentment towards Scheana. I think Alexis holds some resentment towards Scheana. Like, I think there's like, and I think they're going to go overboard on camera for those reasons.
Well, I'm just going to say this here. Team Shannon. Okay, still kind of on the topic of sex, but we're going to go outside of Bravo now. So we were texting last night about Lenny Kravitz.
Yes.
So we need to kind of get into this. During a recent interview with The Guardian to promote his new album, he revealed that he hasn't been in a serious relationship in 9 years and remains celibate until he finds the right person. On his reasonings for why he chooses to abstain, he said that he was becoming a player. He didn't want to be that guy, so he had to tackle that, and it took years. Do we seriously believe that Lenny Kravitz has not engaged in any sexual relations for the past decade? Or like, what does celibacy mean to him? Like, does he have this like California celibate sort of version? You know, it's like, well, I only get my dick sucked, but I don't put it in. Like, it's like, what is this?
It's like the Mormon. He's like, I sit on the bed and then someone hops around, but like, I don't really, get it,
Right.
I don't know, but I'm intrigued because it's Lenny Kravitz. Again, this goes back to like when a guy's hot, you're willing to like overlook some things. If I met Lenny and he told me he was celibate, I would be very intrigued about what his idea of intimacy is.
Right.
Because I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like, are we edging? What are we doing?
Yeah. I recently saw him perform at the People's Choice Awards, and I was just like
turned on,
drooling. Oh yeah. Like it was.
Did he have his shirt off on?
Honestly, I don't even remember. I was just like so in it the whole time.
Yeah.
Like he did a medley, and it was just, I had no idea he was performing. He came out and he had his guitar, and then, oh my God, he did the walk up to the stage, and I was just, and Brock was like, it's okay, I get it. Like, I think Brock was like, having a fanboy moment as well. But
yeah, he's got to be a hall pass. He's got to be a hall pass. Especially if the hall pass is like maybe not full sex.
Right? See? He's going to be my new hall pass. Yeah. I'm going to just put that there. Be like, honey, it might just be a makeout.
Lisa Bonet has had sex with some of the most beautiful men in the world. I am jealous of her always.
Yeah. I was really wondering about that because after just seeing him recently perform, I was like.
And we never see him really connect. I mean,
9 years.
I know. That's what I'm saying. But we never see him like kind of out and about. Like he says he was a player, but it's like he was really good at hiding it because I've never really seen him attached to anyone other than Lisa.
Right.
So he must have people signing NDAs because people don't talk about him in the press.
I had read in the article that part of his reasoning was he saw himself becoming like his father, and he had been unfaithful in his marriage to his mother. So that I can understand, and there are different types of addictions and things. People who are like, they're addicted to alcohol, drugs, sex. Like, so maybe people who go sober from alcohol and drugs, maybe there are people who go celibate from sex if they see bad patterns of behavior.
No, which is why, like, I know Ice-T, like, he retweeted it and like made a comment about it. And I was kind of like, dude, like, weren't you a sex addict? I'm pretty sure that you have like a sex addiction. So like, you're like on a different path. I get it. You could not go this long without sex, but other people are on their spiritual journey. Let them live.
Yeah, no, totally. But he did say that he's open and ready to finding love again. So,
well, I am single, Lenny.
I was going to say, we got a good match right here.
I mean, especially if I don't have to worry about like being really good in the bedroom. I just have to be like myself.
How's your deep throating skills?
Oh, I'm really good at it. Perfect. I am really good at it. I don't. That's one thing I was always proud of.
I love it. Okay. Still on the topic of not necessarily sex, but relationships, cheating, couples, and whatnot. I need to ask because you told me that there's a new feature on Apple's recent update, the iOS 18, and you said it makes it easier to cheat.
Yeah, apparently, like, you're going to be able to put like passcodes on your apps so people can't open apps or
facial recognition, right?
Yeah, I think any sort of, it might be even a code.
Okay.
And then you can actually hide apps so that they're not even shown on the screen. And that if someone goes to the search bar to even search for the app, it won't pop up. And so you can literally have like a deep level of hiding so nobody going through your phone can see that you have certain apps. Now, I mean, again, it's sketchy, but at the end of the day, if you're with someone who wants to cheat, they're going to find a way to cheat regardless. So I'm actually all for this hidden app because I have way too many weird pictures on my phone.
No, actually, I am too. Because if that means someone accessing your phone can, not be able to check your texts, images, there are things that even like my notes app, I have a password on.
Yeah.
My alarm apps and certain things you have to have facial recognition for, just in case, God forbid, my phone got stolen. The most important things I do have locked.
Okay.
But if I could also have those hidden, that's,
yeah.
Right. So iPhone's just, making it easier to cheat or easier to, just protect your privacy.
To be secret. Exactly. Like I don't necessarily need to know. Maybe I have 14 dating apps and maybe I don't need people to know that I'm on 14 different dating apps.
I didn't know there were that many.
I'm assuming there are. Yeah. I'm trying to delete them as we speak. I don't know.
Okay. What's your favorite one you've been on and least favorite?
My least favorite is probably Bumble because I know that they say it's like female friendly, but I just feel like a bunch of men just keep swiping on you and then you go to swipe them and then they decide if they want to if you respond to them, they're like, oh, and then they disconnect. So I feel like I always want the guy to say something first. And I don't like that. I mean, maybe they've changed, but I don't like that you have to initiate as the woman. I do remember that. So that was my least favorite. I don't know if I have a favorite. I just keep using Hinge because it just seems easiest.
I feel like I've heard the most success stories on Hinge.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard like 2 success stories in my life.
Any of my friends who met on a dating app who are still together, it was Hinge.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm not having it. I have more success, I feel like, in New York than I do in LA. I just and I also just think I have a different type and they're mostly New York.
Yeah. I mean, LA dudes,
they're tinier than me. I don't need to just come on.
Yeah, no. I mean, I've had many, many years single in LA and it's not
really. You seem like someone who's never been single. You seem like you've always been dating, always in a relationship.
No, from 20 to 25, almost 26, I was single. And then I was with Shay and from Shay straight to Rob. So for those 7.5 years, I was in a relationship, but then I was single again for almost 2.5, 3 years until I met Brock.
But did you date a lot? How often were you dating when you were single?
So in my early 20s, those stories one day I'll tell.
Okay. Not today.
there was a lot.
Okay.
And it's what do I really consider dating? I mean.
Well, yeah. What is your definition of dating?
Because there was a 6-month period where I was hanging out with a certain celebrity.
Yeah. We
weren't going out to dinners and going on dates. We were having a lot of sex.
Yeah.
And, private hangs at home. And that was it was fun. So it's was that dating or was that just secret sex?
Okay.
I don't know. But I had a lot of those in the early 20s. And then I did have some guys I dated but wouldn't consider a boyfriend. I feel like I never really went on a lot of dates. When Rob and I broke up, there were a couple guys I slept with, but it wasn't really going anywhere. It's if you want to date someone successfully after a breakup, it's a great rebound to bang a guy from The Bachelorette, not to date.
Okay.
So I had some fun of that. Yeah,
okay.
We'll just say that. But then I went on several dates with Nima.
Oh.
Never had sex.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, so Rachel dated Nima after you?
Because I recommended him to her because I was like, this guy is such a gentleman. He will take you on the best dates, just make you feel like a queen. Zero pressure to have sex. If it happens, it happens. But when we went on our first date, we went to Nobu Malibu.
Oh, nice.
And I remember I had just been sober for, I think I was at 50 something days because I froze my eggs. I cleansed for 30 days before. And it was am I going to drink on this date? Am I going to smoke weed on this date? I felt so nervous because I'm when was the last time I've actually been on a date?
Yeah.
Sure, I've slept with people.
Yeah.
I've hung out in group settings or this and that, but I was I felt really nervous. So that night I did have some drinks. I hit my vape pen. And then that date turned into another. But then it turned into this beautiful friendship that him and I have. And so when Raquel was single and I felt like she really needed to get back out there. I was like, you should go on a date with Nima. Like whenever he's in LA or you're in New York, like he'll show you what it feels like to be treated like a queen on a date.
This is so shocking to hear because, like, you know that you hear often that you're not a girl's girl. You hear that all the time. That is the most girls, because I am not you. If I go on one date, if I kiss you, I will never recommend you to my friend. Like I would be like, no, he's a great guy. No, you can never date him because I'm greedy and selfish and jealous.
Yeah,
I can't believe you actually recommend it because you're like, he's a great guy. That's amazing. That's actually amazing.
Yeah.
But wait, is he good in bed?
I don't know.
You didn't sleep with him.
I never slept with him.
Oh, so that makes a difference too. If you had slept with him, would you still have recommred him?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, Janet and I have had some overlap with men as well.
Who?
Her husband.
No, wait. You slept with...
It didn't go that far.
Before you knew Janet, you slept with Jason.
So you want to know what's funny?
Yes.
And I'm going to say this because Janet decided to put it out there on the after show and she's not here to defend herself today. So Jason and I did go on a couple dates. He came over, cooked him dinner. But this was around the time that I was still kind of seeing Adam. And Adam was psychotic with like, he couldn't commit, but he didn't want me with anyone else, but he didn't want me. And it was very toxic, especially when he would drink. And so I would have Janet come out with Jason and I kind of as our beard. So if Adam saw that I was hanging out with Jason, he'd be like, oh, well, they're just like, it's the three of them. And it just didn't work out. You know, Jason, I love him to death. He's so sweet, but it just, it wasn't for me. And him and Janet now together.
I don't know if I could be friends with someone who knows what my man's dick looks like.
So I'm like, is this why you eloped? You couldn't ask me to be a bridesmaid?
Oh my God.
But
interesting.
So yeah.
Wait, any more overlaps? Like, did you and Lala ever overlap?
Did we? I feel like we did find out recently that there was a football player that had slid in both of our DMs around maybe the same time. But neither of us had slept with him. So I felt like that was the one overlap where she was like, wait, you know this person from this team? And I was like, wait. And then we compared phone numbers.
Oh my God.
And he had like had the area code where I met him was like the team he played in. But then the area code she had was the team he got traded to.
Oh my God.
And so it was like a little bit of overlap. But yeah, I'm trying to think. But.
And you or Ariana never had overlap?
No.
Okay.
We just like would make out with each other when we would get drunk.
Yeah, perfect.
I mean, Ariana was always like more my type than any of the guys she was ever with. I'm like, I'll take you.
Yeah, okay.
Him, not so much, but you, what's up? Okay. Anyways, enough about that. So I saw recently, I've been hearing a bunch of stuff about Twitter and how people are just saying that since Elon has taken it over, it's much different space. And I saw that he announced this past week that the platform, formerly known as Twitter, now we're going to be calling it X or whatever the fuck. It's always going to be Twitter.
Always Twitter.
No, I'm tweeting.
Your mama named you Twitter. I'm going to call you Twitter. Exactly.
But now they're getting rid of the likes tab. So users are not going to be able to see what content from which account has been liked. How do we feel about this?
Well, first, this was right after he announced that full porn was going to be allowed on the platform. So it's like,
that's another thing.
Okay, so now you have porn, but you don't want people to see the likes. Got it. Makes sense. And it just feels like Elon is one of those guys that like touts like free speech, freedom, but not for you. I don't want you to know what I'm doing. He's like suing the kid or like going after the kid who was tracking his jet, right? Because he's like, I don't want you to know where I am. It's like he wants to be so secretive, but it's like, no, it's a free market, Elon, right? It's freedom to do whatever we want.
Yeah. And I feel like, okay, so with this, part of me likes it because like the likes on Instagram, it's a competition. It's who can get more likes. And sometimes I just hide the likes and it's just, so
I know, but you want to see, like, it starts feuds in reality world.
Well, that's what I was going to say, because now it's like, okay, we're not going to be able to, catch a senator watching porn or see which housewife is liking the shady comment of another housewife. So it's like, part of me likes it. And then part of me is like, Who are we really protecting here?
It should at least be an option. Like it should at least for like, especially for reality stars. I want to leave my likes open because I want people to know that I'm being shady towards her without like, actually saying something. Yeah. So it should be an option. Elon doesn't give people choice, but he acts like he's trying to make choice. Like everyone has freedom. I'm like, no, I want the choice to show my likes.
And that's what I like about Instagram is you do have the option to hide them or you have the option to leave them.
Yeah.
And sometimes I leave them, sometimes I hide them. It just
same with TikTok. People can see like the videos you liked if you want them to.
Yeah.
I choose not to because my algorithm is weird.
Literally. Okay, we're going to take one more little break and we'll be right back. All right, y'all. Summer is here and I mean the season. Obviously, my daughter too. But the season is here and your wardrobe needs an upgrade, right? Because I know ours did, especially with how quick my summer is growing. She is constantly needing to get new clothes. But instead of a flimsy, fast fashion haul, I thought it would be smart if you do what we do and spend your money wisely on high quality essentials that will last beyond the season. Quince is my spot for quiet luxury without paying luxury prices. Because if you know me, you know I can be a little bit frugal. Quince offers a range of must-haves like 100% European linen under, get this, $50, luxury mulberry silk skirts, and of course, Italian leather bags and 14 karat gold jewelry from $30. All of their prices are 50 to 80% less than similar brands. And because Quince creates timeless classics that won't go out of fashion, you'll have them in your closet forever or to pass down to family members just to, keep it in the fam. Summer and I have gotten so many cute new items. I've gotten some little like matching sets for her, some sweaters we got her for the winter, but now I've got her these really cute legging matching sets. I got myself some new crop tops, and we all know I love a crop top, especially for summer. Upgrade your closet this summer with Quince. Right now, go to quince.com/honey to get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order. That's QUINCE.com/honey for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/honey. Okay, so now I'm thinking maybe we just go into some general topics that I want to get your opinions on. And there are things that I've just been keeping notes of. Like, I love how Giggly Squad, they have their little kiki and funny things. But there are things that my sister and I will talk about. And one of them is on here. Things that I don't think about. And then I'm like, oh, I talk about it with another girl. And I'm like, oh. So I made a list. And I thought it would be fun for the three of us. But we'll just have to get Janet to weigh in another time. So one is something I was talking to her about recently. Do you flush tampons?
Yes.
See? Okay. Me too.
People don't?
Apparently you're not supposed to.
Says who?
I don't know. My sister?
No, I flush no. The only time I don't flush is like when I'm in another country where they say, don't put anything in this toilet. And even then I've done it.
Right. Okay. See, I have too. And here's the thing. I feel like now that I have two homes that I own, I do look at different things a little differently, like what goes down my garbage disposal and whatnot. I haven't, though, had a period since I've really been a homeowner. So I'm like, okay, well, that first maybe 8 months that I was in Palm Springs, the few times I went there, if I was on my period, did I flush a tampon? Maybe. But I got pregnant and then I breastfed and I've had an IUD. So I've literally not had a period for I don't even know how many years now. I'm like, I asked my doctor, I go, is this okay?
Yeah.
Am I does my uterus need to shed or are we good? I mean, I'm not having any more kids myself. So whatever. But I'm wondering, I'm like, would I not? What, you're just going to wrap it up and put it in the trash?
I mean, that's what I guess some people do that, but I always thought you could flush a tampon. I've never been told
I always thought
otherwise.
The same.
I knew pads you couldn't.
Of course.
I mean, but tampon.
Okay, see, I'm glad we're on the same page with that because I feel like some people recently are like, how could you ever? And I'm like, it never even crossed my mind, except now that I own a home, I'm like, okay, if I wash my hair, I'm like, how much hair is going down the drain? How much this, how much that?
It's true.
Things that different things you think about.
Because home repairs are expensive as fuck.
They really are.
Yeah.
It's not fun. Would you rather have your sex tape leak or your therapy tape?
I don't go to therapy, and I think that's because I know what would come out of my mouth is why I don't go to therapy. So probably you could release the sex tape.
That's what I'm thinking too. I was going back and forth with this, and I'm like, honestly, I mean, you could watch Femme Fatales, and that's pretty much my sex tape. So I would put the sex tape
Adding
out.
to the watch list. Okay.
There's shit I talk about in therapy.
I mean, yeah, I have too many. I have intrusive thoughts like you do, and I'm like, oh, like if somebody heard these things, they'd be like, lock her up.
No, literally, like I make sure when I'm in Zoom therapy, my Wi-Fi is off, my Bluetooth is off. I leave my house because my house is so echoey, and I want to just unless I'm in the house by myself.
Yeah.
I want to be able to freely speak about it. But one time, it was Brock and Summer were leaving the house, right? And of course, I talk about my husband in therapy. And he's leaving the house. And all of a sudden, it's like cutting out. My therapist like is saying something. And then I'm like, what is happening? But because he was so close, the Bluetooth connected to the car.
No.
So then she's like talking to Brock.
Oh my God, no.
But he was like, sorry, I'm in the car. No. I don't know. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
So now I've learned, and just a lesson for anyone who does at-home or Zoom therapy, turn your Bluetooth off if you don't want it to connect to another device. Sometimes it'll just automatically connect to my Beats, and Brock will have my headphones on, and it just like, so I'm like, Bluetooth off, Wi-Fi off.
I didn't even think about that. You've unlocked a new fear. Thanks.
Yeah,
No, I'm definitely not going to therapy. And if I do, definitely it's going to have to be in person, I guess. I don't know.
No, literally, because that could happen.
That's terrifying.
And I've heard stories where that has happened before.
And then I also worry because now I'm watching all these court cases where therapists are being, brought into the courtroom.
Like subpoenaed?
Yeah. And so I'm like, well, isn't this not allowed?
Right. There's a protection there.
Yeah, but like, I mean, Johnny Depp trial, we saw, therapists reading notes and stuff. And so I'm like, is it not protected? I thought this was like a lawyer situation.
Yeah, it's like a HIPAA thing, right?
Yeah, I thought.
Interesting. Yeah.
Keep my thoughts to myself.
Sex tape, put it out. Worked out for Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, exactly.
Although there's no way a sex tape coming out today would have anywhere close to the impact that it had 17 years ago.
Well,
how long ago was that?
People keep trying. Like, people literally keep trying. Like, that
cares.
Drake dick didn't leak because, like, and it was just like...
Oh, my God, right? Okay. There's also been some controversy online lately regarding how people lather in the shower. So, washcloth, loofah, or hand.
I use all, but for different parts. So it's like, I have a soft washcloth for my face to like do that. And then I have like an exfoliating sort of like, it's one of those, I don't know what you call them, but it's an exfoliating thing that I do to like get all the exfoliation. And then I loofah as like a final sort of like, get me all bubbly up before I rinse off.
Yeah. And like, you're not going to like loofah your vagina.
No.
It's like, you got to use your hands for some part.
And I use a different washcloth sometimes, and I'll do like I do different things. I use washcloth. I know some people don't use washcloths. I'm reading a lot about that. And I'm like, what is wrong with you people? But I use washcloth.
I have to use one for my face. Yeah. And like when my daughter's in the bath, obviously I'm using a washcloth with her. But but the loofahs, you do just got to make sure that you're replacing them.
Oh, yes. I get I don't even know. I think I get a new loofah probably. I would say I get a new one once a month. Like every time if I go to Target, I'm like, I just pick one up. I usually have like 3 under the sink. Yeah. And just like...
I'm reminding myself now that I'm due for a new one because also it's like Brock and I share one.
Wait, you share a loofah? Okay, I would never. That's like sharing a toothbrush to me.
We've done that sometimes. If like I've caught him using mine when we're like out of town. I'm like, what? You didn't bring yours? And he's like, what? I mean, you kissed me, and I'm like, it's a little different. But I'm like,
no, I don't want you losing my loofah, my toothbrush, none of it. Get your own. You have your own section.
Okay, sticking with bathroom activities. Obviously, this is a girl question. This is for a boy question. You have to go in from the front to the back. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
It's like, that's got to be a girl guy thing. Girls can only wipe from front to back.
Yeah. That's why you go front to back.
Yeah. Yeah. There's only one way.
Because the girl who didn't go front to back, did you hear that story on TikTok?
No.
This girl, she's a waxer. And she was saying how like she was waxing this girl and she was like, she saw something there and she just like didn't know. And she thought maybe it was like skin or something. She goes to wax and she pulls the wax and a turd flies across the room. It was like hidden under her labia.
No.
And I'm just like, so she was like, clearly she was a back to front wiper. But I mean, you have a turd in your labia. How do you walk around with a turd in your labia? Anyways, that's not for public consumption.
Nope. We're going to cut that. Justice. We're cutting that. Just make a note in the transcript.
Okay, I'm not doing this video to be mean. I just need advice on what the fuck you would have done in this situation. So I'm a waxer. I do Brazilian waxing. And all of my 4 years of waxing, this has not ever happened. So I didn't know what to do. So I'm waxing. I feel traumatized. So I'm waxing my client. And I'm doing like her cleanups for her labias. I already did the first strips and I didn't notice at first. Now whenever I'm doing the cleanups, there's like something there. I didn't know if it was like her, like just part of like her labias or what. So like I ignored it. And so I pull the wax strip off. A turd flies to the end of the bed. And I'm just like staring like, she didn't ask what it was, thankfully. Like I didn't know what the fuck to do. So I'm just like looking at it and like I just try to play it off. And so I get a paper towel and I wrap it up into a million fucking times.
I mean, yeah. Here's one. Okay, like sticking with bathroom activities. I feel like and I've heard, I don't know if this is like a boy thing, because I've heard dudes talk about this where they're like, would you fold or do you like scrunch your toilet paper?
Oh, you know, I'm a wrap around the hand person. I like to have my whole hand wrapped and
I'm like, I use wet wipes. Like, I love to use wet wipes. And those, it's like, I'll fold and I use a wet wipe.
I do both. It's like I go for the initial clean and then I get the wet wipes for the deep clean. And then, you know.
Totally. And I think all men should use wet wipes.
Yes.
I really do.
Oh yeah, because like, they barely know how to wipe.
Literally.
No.
Like, I won't even get into it, but I mean, Brock is always door open. And sometimes I'm like, you sure you got it all? Are we good? Like, you don't check? You're just like, what? We're gonna raise our daughter better. We're gonna teach her front to back.
Yes. Yes.
That was the thing too. Like we had her preschool orientation last week, and I'm like, okay, she is fully potty trained now, but you know we're still working on the wiping. So when she goes to school, like now a teacher's helping her. Are they just like do it yourself? How does that work? I mean, it is all, at least who I've met, all female teachers, and I know it would obviously be a female teacher taking her to the bathroom.
Yeah.
But they said they do assist with that and like just helping kids, you know, learn and whatnot. And I'm like, okay. But it was like, that was one of my biggest questions I had going into it. I was like, who's going to help my daughter wipe? Or did they just say like, go in, do it, you know?
And wipe and like also wash hands. Cause I feel like kids, it's like, do you know, like, is it under the nail? Like, do they know how to wash their hands properly?
Right.
I'm probably not. That's why everyone has pink eye in kid households. But
oh my God. I can't believe she's starting school in a few weeks.
Aww.
Like, I feel like I've honestly been going back and forth on if I need to get back on Zoloft because I just like don't feel like mentally strong enough or ready. Like it's like a letting go, but I'm like, I know it's a huge step. So I'm like, maybe I'm just temporarily feeling like, it's like almost like I'm getting like baby blues, like toddler blues in a sense where I'm like, I don't know.
Like think or consider like ever homeschooling because you were paranoid? Like was that ever a thought or no?
So I actually have talked to 4 different parents. 2 of the parents whose kids are going to be in preschool with Summer, but we've talked about after this preschool considering doing a homeschool, but having like at least like 15 kids.
That's what my friend, her sister does. Yeah, they have like, it's like homeschooling, but it's like 6 different kids from the neighborhood.
Definitely something we're going to consider because so many of us in the group had kids at the same time. So many of the kids are going to be in the same class for the next year, I guess 2 years until they go into kindergarten. So we were just talking about it at dinner the other night and we're like, okay, well, we have a location. We can, it's like the tuition would be paying the teachers' salaries.
Yeah.
So it's like we're spending thousands of dollars a month for a private preschool.
Yeah.
We could do that if we got enough people together. So it's something that Brock and I have talked about just with, in America and guns. It terrifies me.
It's scary, yeah.
So not against it. I wouldn't personally private teacher homeschool her. We do have our nanny/teacher who works with her, but I want her to have that social aspect.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to high school, it's like I want her to go to prom. I want her to do all of those things. If we're able to provide a similar experience in a safer environment, I'm all about it, but it would need to be a big enough group of kids.
Okay. I was also going to ask, because, do you want to go the traditional path of school? Because I've been watching a lot of shows lately. I've been watching Dance Life. I don't know if you've seen this on Prime, where it's like these kids go to this Brent Street Academy in Australia, and they're like the most elite professional dancers. They're there. They go to basically become triple threats. And I was always like, I feel like in Europe and in other countries, like, they ask kids, like, what do you want to be?
Yeah.
And they'll send them to that school to just teach them, like, this is what you want to be. And I feel like in this school, we're just get your education. And then, like, we're not going to, like, specialize you in anything. But I'm like, if a kid, I wanted to be an actress for so long. And I feel like if my parents had just listened to me, maybe I would have been doing this, like, way sooner.
No, totally. I wanted to be a child actress so bad.
Yeah.
And all I got to do was school plays.
Yeah.
But, I took an occasional theater class, but it's like where I went to public school up until high school as well. There wasn't like the best programming for anything like that in Azusa. But yeah, that's definitely something that I would consider. It's scary.
It is. But, you like to think that, like, you still want your kids. You're like, I do want them to go to prom. I want to do the things. And like,
totally. And it's like, I did go to traditional school and I had some of, honestly, the worst years of my life and some of the best years of my life. So, okay, I have one more scenario to weigh in on and then we're going to wrap it up. So, an Airbnb host lost internet in her home recently. So she had offered her guests to pay for their dinner for their inconvenience. 2 hours later, the guests sent their dinner receipt and it was $520. Should the Airbnb host have to pay for that?
Well, how many people was that for?
Good question.
I mean, for 4 people, $500 isn't
right?
that much.
That's not bad. If it was just like 2, if it was a couple,
then you're like,
you
taking
get bottles.
advantage. I know, like, I feel like I think $100 per person is like a normal thing to spend on dinner.
Agreed. Yeah.
It's a little bit over.
And also, I mean, if you offered to pay for the inconvenience, did you give them a limit? Did you give them a budget? Did you say, I would love to do $200 for dinner for you? Mm-hmm. Maybe you should have put a price number on it.
You have to, because I know that I would take full advantage. I'd be like, oh, well, let me get a bottle of Casamigos because how are we going to down dinner without some tequila?
Totally. Like,
and we need dessert.
Yeah. I might not go for the petite filet tonight. I'll have the full filet.
Yeah. And it's surf and turf, so I'm going to need either crab legs or lobster.
You have to add a lobster tail.
Yeah.
I love that. All right. Well, if you guys haven't already checked out Kiki's SiriusXM show Reality Check or her podcast Pop Crime, what are you doing? Check it out, download it, like it, watch it, listen to it, do all the things. Thank you for being here. I always have so much fun with you. And I love that we're like making this a regular thing.
I love it too.
Yay. All right. Thanks, guys, for watching, listening. Comment below, but nice comments only. Okay, bye.
Searching for this all my